In 2023, Disney launched a new hard ticket event at Disney's Hollywood Studios called Disney Jollywood Nights. And of course, if you are a part of the community at that time, you know that there was a lot of online discourse about whether that event was good or bad. A lot of people had a lot of thoughts about the very first of those offerings last year, the first night of the event. There were definitely things that could have gone better. And did they eventually, though, is the question. And did anyone ever think to check? And that's what we're going to talk about in this particular edition of Tom's Honest Review. We give an honest review of, you guessed it, because I've said it 5 times already, Disney Jollywood Nights at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, this review will be about the 2024 edition, but we are going to talk a lot about the 2023 edition because that gets us to this point in the story. Now, in 2023 was the first year of the event. They had a lot of media there on the first night last year. A lot of the media, which some of whom usually give very positive reviews, gave very negative reviews of said event. I was there on the first night. We were not back on the media list yet, so I was there as a paying guest. A majority of my time was spent reviewing food, but I did check out all of the shows and such. But the interesting thing is I came back. I went to 2 of them last year. So I was supposed to go to 3. I was supposed to go to, I think it was December 16th was going to be my second one. And that's the one that, I forget if it was a hurricane that late in the season or something happened. They canceled one. And I ended up then only going to the last one, or snow, or what? It wasn't snow. Was it just heavy rain? I don't remember what the what the event was, but some weather event caused them to cancel the event. It didn't happen, and so I ended up only going to the first one and the last one. And I will tell you, look, there were a number of problems at the first one. Check-in inside the park could have gone way smoother. They could have handled that better. Lines for several things were very, very bad. And I understand all of that. And there were some other things where it just was like a head scratcher. Like, why did the bar at the Tower Terror have cast members in regular costumes and not in Hollywood Tower Hotel costumes? Little things like that. Now, what impressed me was everyone had all this negative discourse, which I will tell you, I understood those complaints, but I thought there was so much good at the event that I really liked it. I was excited to go back and experience it without working at all. I worked a lot opening night because it was our first time covering the event. But when I went on the final night, I really went for myself and for fun. I went with a couple of friends. And what I really enjoyed seeing was the fact that they clearly heard all of the feedback and before the run was even over, addressed a majority of the problems. Now, if your problem was there wasn't enough to do, by the second party, they had rolled out a bunch more entertainment. They had worked on the check-in process. And I saw a lot of improvements in a lot of places. When I went to the Twilight Soiree at the Hollywood Tower Hotel, they were all in costume and everything looked a lot better. So by the time we got to the last party, I was thoroughly impressed. And I go, I like this event. I didn't say I love this event, but I really like this event. And I can't wait to see what they do with a year's time to think about what had transpired. Some people were like, oh, I bet it doesn't even come back. I kind of had the feeling they weren't going to give up on it. I'm glad they didn't. So what I don't understand, to criticize them a bit, what I don't understand is the Magic Kingdom has for many years successfully hosted after-hours events and hard-ticketed holiday parties specifically, right? Because I think hosting these and hosting a Disney After Hours or something of that sort are 2 different things. And Hollywood Studios has done those. But different crowd levels, different expectations. A lot more goes into these holiday parties than goes into like a Disney After Hours event typically. Other than they did some ones at Magic Kingdom where they added a little bit of entertainment to them. That's neither here nor there. But the Magic Kingdom for decades now has done Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. My thought would be, if you are the people putting together the event at Disney's Hollywood Studios, whatever department you're in, or all the departments, you have a template. You also are within the same company. So all you would have to do is pick up the phone. This is what a phone used to look like. I know for kids now, this is a phone. But for us old people, this is a phone. You pick up the phone and go, hey, Magic Kingdom Management, I'm here at Disney's Hollywood Studios and we're going to have an after-hours event. We would really love to come for a night and see how you put the event on, or have a meeting with you also where we could talk about all the logistics that go into you putting on an event, what your guests expect, etc. That would be really helpful and I think would help us put on the best event possible. And I'm sure the Magic Kingdom management would say, oh yeah, sure, you're more than welcome. That'd be great. And everyone hangs up and then we go and we make that happen and we solve a lot more problems by seeing how it's done at a park where it's been successfully done for a very long time. That clearly did not happen. And if it did, I am bewildered as to what happened. Because there were a lot of logistical things that just didn't make sense. Now, for 2024 at the event, we're adding more entertainment. We have a revised list of characters, different food. The event has been revised a little bit. And we'll talk about all of the changes. But first and foremost, I will say logistically, it was much better. They had changed the whole check-in location. And so the in-park check-in, when I did the first party last year, was at the exit of the Vacation Fun, the Mickey Shorts Theater, that space. And it took a long time to check people in. It was not great. And I know people who checked in outside the park didn't have a great experience either. What I liked this year was I got to experience both because I kind of had to check in twice. It's a long story. Not something Disney did. It was something because I had bought tickets, but then also had media tickets. And so there was a process. So I checked in with my personal tickets in the park at Muppet Vision, God rest its soul. And it took 2 seconds. It was well staffed. It was great, worked really well. They started doing it super early. They put the merchandise on sale super early. So we checked in a couple hours before the event started. We got to go shop. Like all of that was already out of the way. And we were able to start thinking about what we wanted to do with our evening. When I went through the front to check in with my media tickets, you still go through the same entrance as everybody else. So for that experience, they send you through the entrance and then they send you off to the right on Hollywood Boulevard, right past Oscar's, the gas station. So that way they can funnel all the day guests out down the center and you can come in. And what was cool about this was similar to Magic Kingdom. Like Magic Kingdom does this for the parties now, where you get there early enough, they use the bypass on Main Street. So Hollywood Studios did that a little bit with what is essentially the exit area for Fantasmic, and they routed you through to Sunset Boulevard. This was great because you weren't walking into traffic, obviously, but also what I liked about this was they stuck the Ollie photo op. The neon Ollie photo op got stuck in the space and had its own dedicated queue, and it was out of the way, and that worked really well, I think. It worked well for them because they didn't have to roll it in and out every night, which is what they were doing last year at the event. This was genius. They didn't have to roll it in and out. There was a dedicated space. People, as soon as they could come in, could get that picture. They left it open all night. When you were exiting, you get your picture there too if you wanted. The middle of the night you wanted to go. It didn't matter when. That was open. You could go get your Ollie neon sign picture whenever. I really liked that setup. That's great. Now I'm going to use, in order to do this in a logical way, I'm going to go a bit through the guide map, which, by the way, kudos to whoever, they're listening, right? Kudos to whoever decided, oh, we should put Dinosaur Santa Gertie on the cover. I love this. This is the best map of all time, and no one can convince me otherwise. I do like this guy, too. This is Ollie. I think his full name is Holly Jolly Ollie. We parody him a bit on News Tonight with our own character, but I won't talk about that here. I like that there's an original character mascot for the event. I very much like this. It's cute. It's fun. I love his like Art Deco era Hollywood outfit. And he's just cute. I like that there's a mascot. Original characters are always a good thing. And the fact that an original, Gertie's not an original character. Gertie's based on a cartoon character from a very long time ago. But a character that is very important to the park and not so much as an IP. And then an original character here dominating the covers of the map makes me smile a lot. It gives me the warm, fuzzy feeling inside, and I'm very happy about it. Hollywood glamour meets holiday cheer. Celebrate the season in style. Enjoy festive fun, sparkling decorations, and glamorous touches around Hollywood Studios. Behold spirited holiday shows, meet beloved characters, indulge in savory and sweet treats. Talking about food real quick. We have done 2 food reviews of Jollywood Nights. There is our food review from last year. A lot of that stuff is returning, so please go watch that if you're interested. There's also a video from this year with a number of new offerings or things we missed the year before. Please go check those out. The food and beverage team rocks this event. This Hollywood Studios is maybe already my favorite park to eat in. I love the food in this park. People sleep on it. But the food and beverage team, there are a couple things we didn't like, but for the most part, some of the most fantastic and thoughtful and interesting and creative and unique food items can be found at Jollywood Nights. I would definitely make sure you carve out some time to go have a couple of things here and there, and especially a Santa Gertie cookie, because you have to. You must have it. It's the law. Another big part of this is you get digital photo and video downloads, complimentary photo pass downloads. And so there are a lot of photo ops. And Christmas is a time of year in particular. People like to take a lot of photos because then they pick one for their Christmas card they send to people. Or in this day and age, not necessarily a card they send to people, just their, change their Facebook cover photo or their images on social media. They want to share on Instagram. They want an Instagram post, whatever the case may be. People love that stuff, and so this is a very important part of this event. So I think as fans, that's not my thing. I don't need a bunch of photos of me at a place. It's just not my thing. But I know that's important to a vast majority of the people that go to this event. It may not be to me and you. You watching this may not be in that group either. But I think it's important. We have to recognize that there is an audience for that. It's important. And I think they do a very good job. I think the photo pass photo ops are really well thought out. In fact, there was one that was so great, I was like, Rosanna, we have to go do this. And she absolutely agreed. They set up a photo op at Sci-Fi in the car outside. And what they did was they changed the billboard specifically for Christmas and put Christmas road signs up and weird little decor. And it is the cutest photo op. And they're my favorite pictures I've ever had taken. And you're looking at them now. I love them. This is great. So there will inevitably be a photo op that is your favorite thing. Some of them do have longer lines. The Muppets have a video experience, a Muppets Christmas Carol thing in stage 1, God rest its soul. I'll say that a lot tonight. And it's this motion camera thing, and it's super cool. It's really, really cool. And it gets a long line, but I think it's so unique and interesting, and it's included with your mission. So I think it's worth doing. So there are a lot of photo ops. I'm not going to break them all down here, but I think it is one of the strengths of this event are these cool video experiences. There's more than just the Muppet one, and if you really like having photos taken, this is a great event for it, and maybe considerably better than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, if I'm being honest. Obviously, there's event merchandise and more. But let's talk about the next page of our map is entertainment. So I'm going to go down the list of entertainment, and we'll talk about them all in order. What's this? Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along. I think this is great. Now, it is just a sing-along, right? So there are portions where it's just the film on screen and the words, bouncing. But what makes this different from the Frozen sing-along are a number of things. First of all, the giant Jack Skellington puppet comes out and does the beginning and end. It always gets a wow. It always gets a wow. I like that it's in the fireworks show at Magic Kingdom for Halloween. I like that part of that show. But that being said, you have to be in front of the stage to really see that he's there. Even though he's super tall, the further back you get, the harder it is to know he's even there. And so this is an experience where if they fill the theater, 1,000 people get to see this amazing puppet in action. And every time you see it, there is an audible gasp from the crowd, which is what it's all about, folks. That is the response you want for everything you do. Every attraction experience should have a moment where people feel that way. And so the fact that this delivers it says a lot. Beyond that, I think the interpretation, the show they've chosen to put on here is so different for Disney, and it's a little mature. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but it's a little mature, and I like that there's no dialogue other than the narrator and Jack. The performers are super talented. It's very fun. I highly recommend it. And I always say that to people. In fact, my friend Max is here this week, and I asked if he's going to Jollywood. He's like, what should I do? And I said, it is just a sing-along, but you really have to go see the Nightmare sing-along. I think it's worth seeing just because it's so unique and different and interesting. So go check it out. The Twilight Soiree at the Tip Top Club. Rachel and the Alley Cats, the musical act, they are fantastic. She has a tremendous voice. The musicians are uber talented. The combination of them together, they're in the tuxes. She's always in some sparkling, ridiculous ensemble that's gorgeous. And then this year they added dancers and sort of atmospheric, like essentially the spirits that are at this Twilight Soiree. The ghosts from the Tip Top Club, if you will, are there. This was a great musical act last year. It's even better with the enhanced entertainment this year. The bar is, the drinks are the drinks, they're fine. But the idea of like grabbing a cocktail, watching this band and the dancers, and being in the shadow of the Hollywood Tower Hotel, it is great. I hope every year we take it up a little bit. Every year we add another little thing to it. I think eventually this will be my favorite piece of entertainment at Disney World, at least atmospheric. But I love it. I absolutely adore it. They got rid of the standing tables this year. I don't know how I feel about that. I like the lounge vibe, but operationally, they clearly needed to make the change. There wasn't enough room for people to get, by and through to the bar and back. And even with the tables gone, it was still a little tight this year, so I get it. Is there a better spot to do this in? I don't think so. And you really want the performers to be up against the tower. So I think they can make it work. I think they'll figure it out. It's certainly operating better this year than last, but I don't think they've gotten it all the way yet. But I think if they watch it, if management actively watches how it goes and sees what their choke points are and what the problems are, I think they will be able to figure it out with time. Holiday Fiesta en La Calle. This got moved. This was in the ABC commissary alley last year, which was a shame because it was in such a weird spot. This year moved to the animation courtyard. This is an incredibly talented group. The musicians are fantastic, and they alternate. There's like sort of a full band, and then I think it's a guitarist alternating with them. He's great too. And then the dancers are outrageous, and it's phenomenal. The problem is there's not a whole lot drawing people in here, which is a shame. The three Caballeros got added in this area this year, which I love them, and I'm happy to meet Jose and Panchito. I really would have loved if we actually got the three of them together like they are at Viva Navidad at DCA. That's what I really wanted. I think that would get more people back here. So the problem is people aren't going back here. And so when I went to watch Fiesta en La Calle, you're lucky if 5 to 10 people watched a show, which makes me sad because it's so good. So good. So please carve out a couple minutes, even if you know you're just going to be passing by on the way to another destination. I'd carve out a few minutes to go see this act. I love them. The Echo Lake Holiday Celebration. Join this throwback bash. It's sure to stir up nostalgia for the 90s and 2000s. Isn't that just characters? I don't know. I didn't get to see this in person, but I heard good things about the Pixar dance party in Pixar Plaza. I am going to another party, another Jollywood this week, so I'll revise some thoughts at a later time. But it's nice to have more added entertainment, more to do, more characters. Edna Mode and pals are there. That's great. Disney Holidays in Hollywood is the show that debuted year one in the Theater of the Stars on Sunset Boulevard. I loved it last year. There were a lot of things that break the norm of modern day Disney World entertainment that made me very happy. Number one is live musicians and live singing. More of this, please. When I was a kid, this was such a common thing. This will blow your mind. The Castle Stage Show, when I was a kid, that space in front of the stage was the orchestra pit. They had live music in the daily Castle Stage Show. They had live music again when they would do shows at the Galaxy Palace Theater in Tomorrowland. And at the Christmas season when they did Mickey's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, there's a live band. And there was live singing in the show. This should always be a thing. Everything should not be pre-recorded. Now, I understand in the case of sound-alikes for characters that you want to have the voices that people know. That makes sense to me, but at the same time, this show proves that you can cast in a way that keeps that magic. Tiana in this show, every time I'm blown away, totally blown away. I'm blown away by everyone in this. You have the Muppets live singing, live, incredible, very good choreography for a theme park show, and especially a Disney World theme park show. this is a tremendous offering. I really liked last year the structure of it being like they're filming a holiday special. I liked that a lot. Apparently this year they did away with that and put a little more Muppet in it. But I really like the vibe of we're filming a classic holiday special hosted by the Muppets. But just everything about like Mickey and Minnie doing complex choreography is something you'll see at a lot of the international parks, but it's never something you see at Disney World. And this was just such a break from the norm of the Orlando entertainment scene in theme parks that I can only say that I think it's one of the best pieces of entertainment that Disney World has staged in many, many, many years. And we need more like this at every event. Please, please. Let's talk about Glisten. Glisten is the new ice skating show that takes place in front of the Chinese Theater. When this was announced, I was very excited because it just sounds like such a weird, cool idea. Now, credit where credit is due. The ice skating stuff has been a staple of the Anheuser-Busch, dating myself a little bit, the Anheuser-Busch parks and their holiday offerings for a long time. So I'm talking about Busch Gardens and SeaWorld parks. They've done a lot of this. Disney they've dipped a toe in before when they did Frozen Holiday Fun. They had the ice skating rink and two professional ice skaters would come out and do like a little show. In this case, though, we've put an ice skating surface down on center stage, that little raised platform in front of the Chinese Theater, and we've put these performers on there. And here's what I will say. I think it is a good show. Do I think it is a great show? No. I think there are some expectations that I think people expected some character involvement and they didn't get it. That doesn't bother me so much, but I think the average guest is bothered by that. And so I think if Mickey Mouse had came out, and I'm not asking him to do a pirouette or anything. I don't even know ice skating term. Triple axel, is that one? I'm not asking him to come out and do a triple axel, but if Mickey and Minnie just sort of skated out and just, did one little twirl and left, I think that'd be super awesome. It would remind me of moments in other shows like Big Band Beat in Tokyo Disney where Mickey actively drums. And that's such a big moment for people where Mickey actually plays the drums. So Mickey actually ice skating, I think, would be just like Jack Skellington coming out in the Nightmare Show. I think it would be that wow moment. That being said, as ice skaters, the people in this show are phenomenal. The parts where they get to just ice skate and do what ice skaters typically do is magnificent. The problem is in between that, they have choreographed dance routines, which the movements are a little less, ice skating and a little more show. And look, I think ice skating is one set of talents. It's a talent I do not have. Actually, I don't have either of these talents. And I think dancing is dancing without ice skates is a different talent. And they don't always mesh. And so I think the performers looked kind of out of sorts during the moments where they were just doing sort of, I don't know how to describe this, but dances that involved standing still and using their arms were slightly painful. But then the moments where they're doing ice dancing are fantastic. They're incredibly talented. It's just trying to get them to change skill sets doesn't really work. So it's a cool show. I think it's worth seeing. I like the staging with the projections on the Chinese Theater, that behind them. It's beautifully staged. It's well thought out. They benefit from a slightly larger skating area, and I know in the past we have built a stage over this center stage area so we could have a wider platform. That's certainly doable. They didn't do that in this case. They just laid the ice skating surface. It's not real ice, obviously. It's Orlando. It's going to melt. But they've laid that surface just over the oval-shaped center stage, which isn't a huge amount of space. So I would love it if they gave them a little more room to build up some speed and do some bigger tricks, if you will. I don't want to call them tricks. It sounds derogatory, but for lack of a better term. So I think there are the makings of a very good show here. It's definitely worth seeing in its current incarnation. I wouldn't wait long for it. They make the first people, the first section is seated, so you could sit in front of the stage and then they're standing. I would just stand in the back. I think it's a better view. You want to be set back a little anyway from it, so you're not on top of them in the Chinese theater. It'll make for better pictures and video if that's the thing you're doing. I'll let you keep that in mind. Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam has been moved. The fireworks show has been moved earlier in the night. It now performs at 10 p.m. instead of at the end of the event, which I think works a lot better for the younger guests. That being said, I have not seen a ton of younger guests at this. The audience for this event definitely skews older, and based on what is offered, that seems by design. But so everyone could enjoy it more, they put the fireworks show at 10. I have never been a big fan of Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. It is a fine fireworks show. I'm probably being a little nicer than I would be if you met me on the street and were my friend and we talked about it. But because I know there's people on staff watching this are probably like, he really hates that show. But I understand people like it. I don't think people love it. I think people like it. I think it's okay. It's just okay. It's cool that it uses the prep and landing characters. I like the nightmare sequences. It's, I don't know. But then the like montage sequences don't work for me. I don't know. It's just not my favorite fireworks show, but if you feel compelled, you paid all this money and you feel like you deserve a fireworks show for what you spent going to Jollywood Nights, you should see it. If you've never seen it before, I think it's worth watching. I think it's worth watching at least once, and then maybe you'll come back another year and be like, well, we don't need to see that again. We've seen it. We can spend some more time at some of these other entertainment offerings at Jollywood Nights that we didn't get to spend as much time with the last time we came. Also, returning as part of Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam existed before Jollywood Nights. It is now exclusive to it. Not exclusive to it, but also returning from being an offering previously, is Sunset Season's Greetings, which is the projection show on the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Not my favorite thing either, but it's cute enough. It's getting a little long in the tooth. I think it's weird that they haven't added a new one since it started. It's the 4 shows they've always had are what's still playing. It's better than nothing. The problem is it was meant to be like the Osborne Light replacement. And as you all know, nothing will ever replace the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights. This doesn't even come close. It doesn't. And so maybe that's the problem. Maybe the average guest goes and sees this and is so blown away by it that makes me totally wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I might be. But I just think it feels long in the tooth. It's not tremendous. It's just okay. And you have no reason to stop and see it during this event unless this is going to be your only night at Hollywood Studios during the holiday season, because it will run outside of the event as well. So keep that in mind. That covers, we've got entertainment covered. I'll give you a quick rundown of characters you can meet. Echo Lake is Phineas and Ferb. Max is Powerline, Pinocchio, or Jiminy Cricket. They switch off. Chip and Dale in their Rescue Rangers outfits. Baloo and King Louie in their Tailspin outfits. They're separate, though. They switch off. Santa Stitch, which was the worst line of the night. People really wanted to meet him. Mickey and Minnie are on Commissary Lane. They're in their formal meet and greet space. Grand Avenue has friends from Mary Poppins. So Mary Poppins, Bert, Penguins. Santa Duffy is also back there as well, which I love. Clarice or Scrooge McDuck, they switch off by the entrance to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. In Galaxy's Edge, the Mandalorian. You could meet and get a picture with the Mandalorian. That's new this year and a tremendous addition. Toy Story Land has your friends from Toy Story. Bo Peep, Woody, Buzz. Between Pixar Plaza and Toy Story Land, Donald and Daisy Duck, and Goofy and Pluto. And then in Animation Courtyard, as I talked about already, Jose or Panchito. If you like character meet and greets, this is the event. They've got some weird off-the-wall ones, some offbeat ones you don't always get. And if not, characters in cool costumes. Santa Stitch, super rare. Santa Duffy, if that was a meet and greet in Asia, it would have an 8-hour wait. And so you should not take for granted. I think we waited 45 minutes last year, and I don't regret waiting 45 minutes for Santa Duffy because it's just such a cool thing to do. The Mandalorian, though, at Disneyland, it's very hard to meet him. He just roams. And so it's more of like interacting with him, and it's very hard to get a picture with him. As opposed to this, where it's a formal meet. He comes out and he finds a spot, and it's a formal meet and greet. which is tremendous. People really want this, and this is so. Buying it, I'm sure there are plenty of people buying tickets to this event just because they know, oh, I get a picture with the Mandalorian. I would love that. That's great. So good additions this year. It's a really good character lineup. Again, and it's not all, Mickey and the gang are there, but I love the fact that there are some, the Mary Poppins characters, Clarice and Scrooge, Jose and Panchito, Baloo and King Louie in their tailspin outfits, Chippendales Rescue Rangers. These are some nerdy meet and greets, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Attractions that are open: Runaway Railway, Star Tours, Muppet Vision, Rise of the Resistance with the standby queue, Smuggler's Run, Swirling Saucers, Slinky Dog, Toy Story Mania, Rock and Roller Coaster, Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror are all available during the event. But again, there's so much special stuff that if you're watching this show, you go to Disney World enough where you probably don't care so much about all those attractions being offered. But maybe you think Rise is going to be short and you want to give it a shot. You're probably more going for the things that are unique to the event, which are the meet and greets, the shows, merchandise, photo ops, the things that you can only do at Jollywood nights, which is how I feel about it. But I also live here. But I will say, like when Disneyland did the Christmas party a couple of years ago, we didn't go do attractions. We went and did merchandise and saw the shows, and all the things that are not usually in the park are the things we did. Merchandise. Merchandise was good this year. Definitely better than last year. They almost had nothing last year. So a handful of Ollie items this year. It's good stuff. But yeah, complimentary event photos. PhotoPass digital downloads and videos from the event are included with your event admission. Visit the app to download. Look for the camera icons on the map for unique photo opportunities, including magic shots, props, and more. So yeah, Stage 1 Company Store and on Grand Avenue has the robotic arm. That's the Muppets Christmas Carol. The camera array is at the Disney Studio Store and Animation Courtyard. That's an interesting experience as well. And then regular PhotoPass photographers in a number of places throughout the park. Really the Christmas event at Disney World compared to the Christmas party for family or couple photos or whatever you need photography-wise. Food I already talked about. I guess that's everything that's part of Jollywood Nights. Of course, the decor and such that's up at Hollywood Studios is up. It's up all day, it's up all night, it's up on the other nights. So it's not exclusive to this event either. That being said, this has always been the Christmas park for me. I have always loved Christmas in this park, and obviously Osborne was a big part of that. But the decor on Hollywood and Sunset and Echo Lake is always superb. It's very cute. It's a great atmosphere. And I don't care for Sunset Season's greetings, but I do like that it snows on Sunset Boulevard. I always love the snow. It hits me in the feels every time. So what I will say is people were real hard on this event last year, and I thought it was good last year. I now think it's more than good. I think it's great, and I think it's something I would like to do every single year. I really enjoy it. I don't know if what I'm looking for in an event is just different from other people. I don't know. Because my highlights are the soiree. I love live music in the parks. And so I adore just getting a drink and standing there for 15, 30 minutes and watching a full set and just enjoying that atmosphere there. Same with Fiesta en la Calle. I love to just stand there for 15, 20 minutes and just watch that show happen, that street entertainment. It's infectious. It brings the place to life. I love that so much. The Muppet stage show is phenomenal. The ice skating show is very fun. There's fireworks. There's a lot of entertainment happening. And so much so that it's very hard to do it all in a single night. It can be done, but it's a little bit of a challenge. That especially if you're trying to do the meet and greets and get food and all of those other things. It's a packed night. Now, it's very different from the Christmas party. Right? The Christmas party, I think, there's the parade, and people really love the parades, and people like the fireworks, and that's great and all. But I don't know what it is. I love the stage show at the Christmas party. I don't know what it is, but Jollywood feels a little more laid back, and it feels a little easier to just do because I don't know, the fireworks and the parade just feel like these mega events at the Christmas party, and it feels like everybody in the whole park, you have to go get a spot early for them if you want a good one, and it's like a fight. And at Jollywood, the first night was not empty. There were plenty of people. I think it was sold out technically. There were plenty of people. Some of the meet and greet lines were very bad. But other than that, to see shows, I walked up to the ice skating show. They had a media section set up for us for the ice skating show, and it was off to the side. And I'm just honestly, I think it's a better view. I'll just sort of walk up back here and watch it back here. I had a great view of walking up as the show started. I walked up and had a great view. There, plenty of people were there on the floor, but to stand in the back was not a problem for me, and that was great. You know, you don't have to show up. You don't have to show up incredibly early for some performances of the Muppet Show. Same thing with the Nightmare Sing Along. I just really enjoy this event. It's a really fun night. I like getting a photo or two, meeting some characters that you don't get to meet every day, and just really walking around the park, enjoying the atmosphere. And again, the food, man. There are so many food items I can't wait to go back and have again, which is something I never get to do because work is always reviewing these things. I never get to do this. I'm so excited to go back this week and try, or not try, but have a couple of those items that I really loved and really sit and enjoy them at my own leisure. I'm very excited about it. You know, that just sounds like a good time. We're gonna go meet some characters, eat a couple little dishes, watch a bunch of shows, you know, get drinks with friends, and take some photos that we can share on social media. That sounds like a good time, right? Because it is. I love this event. I actually now love it, and I don't go to the Christmas party every year anymore. I don't, because I've seen it a million times. It doesn't change so much. This one, obviously it's young, so it continues to morph, and so year 1 to year 2, a lot of changes. Maybe the changes will be lesser as years progress, but I still think it's going to be an annual tradition for me, even as a local. I just really have fun at it, and I think you will too. I don't know if it's the event for small kids. I think for small kids, you still might want to just do the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, but I think if your kids are older or you're just a couple of Disney adults, this is the way to go. This is a good time. Grab an Oaxacan Old Fashioned from ABC Commissary, go watch people ice skate, meet Santa Duffy, and just have a good time. So those are my thoughts. I love Jollywood Nights. Let me know in the comments if you went last year, what you thought. If you went last year and this year, or even if you just went this year, let me know in the comments. I'm so curious what you think about any of these aspects I've talked about. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people disagree. I don't know. But let me know how you feel below. If you like this, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And have a happy holiday season from myself and our beloved Santa Gertie.